Have you ever woken up at 4 in the morning to realize that you just need cake? But you can't have cake because it's 4 in the morning and it takes 1 to 2 hours to make it, not to mention the super long baking time. As someone that happens to quite often, I spent a lot of time trying to crack the codes to quick cakes. And after dozens and dozens of recipes of mug cakes and quick cakes and in a snap bakes, I'm happy to finally present to you what I have found to be the best chocolate mug cake that you can make in under 10 minutes. This guy is super rich, super moist, and goes well with any kind of craving. Welcome to Pots and Pandemic! Now, because it's really hard to have half of an egg in a recipe, this recipe actually makes 2 mug cakes, which is why I like to make my batter in just a nice small bowl instead of in the mug that you're actually going to make it. So we're going to start by mixing 2 tablespoons of butter with a 1/4 cup of chocolate chips. I just use semi-sweet chocolate chips, the same you put in a chocolate chip cookie. So after the butter has melted nicely and you can see the chocolate chips are starting to melt, just pull that right out of the microwave and just with a fork stir it together. So now that that has come together into a nice mix, we're going to add the 1 egg. Now to this, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, and a pinch of salt. At this point in the mug cake, you're going to notice that it's got a pretty kind of brownie-like texture and is a really dark color. Don't worry, it'll lighten out when we add 3½ tablespoons, or basically a little bit under a 1/4 cup of buttermilk. Our final step is going to be adding a little bit under a 1/4 cup of self-rising flour. Now, if you don't have self-rising flour at home, then you can just mix regular all-purpose flour with a little bit of salt and a little bit of baking powder. And done. That was a super fast chocolate cake. Now what I do is just pour about half of this batter into a large mug, and you can spray a little bit of cooking spray inside of it to make sure that the cake doesn't stick. Now you're going to take this and put it in the microwave for anywhere from 1.5 minutes to 2.5 minutes. It really depends on how powerful your microwave is and how hot it gets. Our mug cake is now out of the microwave, and I'm just going to let that cool for a little bit. What you're looking for is it should shrink in from the sides a little bit, and you shouldn't see any of that like light brown batter anywhere. It should be completely cooked. With all this excess batter, I just like to cover it with a piece of saran wrap and stick it in the fridge. And this will stay good for about a week, but again, if you're feeling super hungry, you can always just throw it in the microwave and have a little bit of extra cake. When it comes to topping your mug cake, there are a ton of different options. Most people would go with just a normal sweetened whipped cream, but you could do what I like to do, which is just take a scoop of ice cream out of the fridge. And that really works well if you're craving sweets. But if you're a bit more of a bakery person, then you can always top it with a bit of pastry cream, some fresh cut strawberries, and some ganache. This will give your cake a bit of a fancier feel, so you feel less like you're eating a cake out of a mug. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions, comments, questions, whatever, make sure you leave them below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next week!